What's going on, everybody? This is your man, Dr. John C. Turner, aka the Professor JT. Dr. JT here, and I'm telling you, we are back for another incredible episode of the Doc Chat. I'm telling you, I got some heavy hitters on tonight, and they have some amazing stories coming from one of the greatest online universities for getting your doctorate degree. That is the University of Phoenix, and we appreciate them being on today. That's Dr. Diana Edwards and Dr. Van Richardson. They are here. Make sure you show them some love. If you're checking us out, ask them questions. Make sure that you check out the Doc Chat. Man, we streaming on Facebook. We're streaming on LinkedIn. We're streaming on YouTube. We are here tonight, and we're going to hear their story because there's a lot of y'all that are interested in going to University of Phoenix, and they're going to tell y'all why y'all need to go there. So without further ado, we are a woman's first show. Dr. Diana Edwards, welcome to the Doc Chat. We appreciate you being on. Let the folks know a little about yourself.
Hi, I'm Dr. Diana Edwards. I'm a doctor in healthcare administration, and it's a pleasure to be here. I am a longtime alumnus of University of Phoenix. I received, in brief, my associate's, bachelor's, master's, and doctorate degree in healthcare administration from this wonderful institution. On June 15th of 2021, I was conferred as Dr. Diana Edwards. And I will be the first one to keep it real for you. It's a very well-deserved and eventful journey, but it takes a lot of hard work.
Hey, and we're going to hear about it. I'm telling you, I am excited about it. And our guy, my guy, Dr. Van Richardson, welcome to the Doc Chat. Let the folks know a little about yourself.
Hey, good evening. Again, Dr. Van Richardson. I joined University of Phoenix about 2020 during the pandemic time, and my doctorate is in the business administration field. I've got 28 plus years of experience in information technology. And I went through a similar journey of having to go through various schools or various various career shifts to sort of get to this journey. So I'm excited to be here today and talk about this experience.
Appreciate you. We're not going to waste no time. Dr. Edwards, tell us why University. I mean, you already had a few degrees kind of going in. They probably thought you was crazy. Like, man, she's about to go for another degree and the biggest one at that. Why the University of Phoenix and why go get your doctorate degree?
Speaking for myself, putting it mildly, it was the naysayers, the negative Nancy's, and the doubting Dans. Okay, starting from a BA program up to the doctorate degree, I had people constantly tell me, "You can't do this. You cannot do that." Wow. And I'm like, "Oh yeah." I'm saying to myself, well, "Look, this is being noted, but guess what? I'm thinking you're wrong." So my motivation came from people telling me, Diana, you're not going to, you're not going to get your doctorate degree. Someone even told me when I had my associate's degree, that's it for you. I'm like, oh, really? Did you just really tell me that? Okay, keep watching. And I chose the University of Phoenix to continue my education. I've always felt in each of my degree program that family oriented. Starting with faculty, the administration, and so forth. I always felt that family, and even with some of the students, and and everything, my other cohorts during that time.
Nice. Now, were you able to take some of your master's credit and put that towards your doctorate? Were you able to do that?
My master's program, my journey for leading up to my doctorate program, I didn't have too much space in between anyone. I rolled right over. Wow. Right after my associate's program, when I finished in 2007, I rolled right over to the BA program. As soon as I finished the BA program in 2009, I rolled over to the master's program. And then, they were like months separated, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I was that determined. I got that mad at the naysayers, and I'm keeping this smile on my face. Okay, keep talking. Yeah, I want you to keep telling me that. But each of my degree programs, they were like few weeks apart. And then after I finished my master's program, I started my doctorate program at the end of 2011. I started it, but because my father, he had got sick. He got really sick, like in September, and the university knew about it. And it was really time for me to go to my first residency in Phoenix, Arizona. But they felt, that I wasn't kind of mentally prepared, and I appreciate that. They knew that. So, but from 2011 to 2020, I was on my doctorate program. It was a long journey, but believe me, it's worth it.
Worth it. Definitely. And Dr. Van Richardson, you talking about the career jumps and switches. Why go get a doctorate then? You could have been like, you know what, I'm not even about to do this, but you pushed through, and you pushed through a few programs. Is that correct?
Correct. One of the key things is it didn't only start here at Phoenix. It was at Capella, and it was other schools. And one of the key things that stuck out for me is having been in career technology. I heard, in my career that you can't be a CIO because you don't have this credential.
Wow.
The
doubters were coming for y'all. Wow.
And it was like, okay, well, I don't need that credential. I'm going to top that credential.
That's it.
And I think that mindset shift was more of the drive to help us get there. Help me get there, I should say. And it settled on the point of realizing why it's important to push yourself to the next level.
That's good.
And one of the things I humbly say is, I have a daughter that I lost in 2011, and she didn't make it to achieve the level. So I wanted to do what she did not have the opportunity to achieve. So, that's the passion point. So that goes back into what's the why for doing those sort of things. But I really realized that it's more of being a beacon and an example for others that shows that you can achieve, and don't just like humble yourselves to just being in mediocrity. So that was really my piece. So yes, I did the similar comments I did this is Dr. Diana mentioned the associates, the bachelor's, the master's, MBA. I did the MBA. I did all those paths, and I think that, but I think that when your brain switches, sort of understanding what's important and why it's important, you act and move differently.
Indeed. Hey, folks, we're just getting started here on the Doc Chat with Dr. Edwards and Dr. Richardson, proud graduates of the University of Phoenix as doctorate degree earners. They earned it. They put that work in, and they got that thing done, and we are proud of them. And so, Dr. Edwards, you're in the program now. You finally get in the program. What was some of the things where it was like aha moments for you, or like, whoa, what did I get myself into?
Residency 1. Arizona. Residency 1. I've always been a quiet type person. When I got up to Phoenix, Arizona, and found out I have to talk in front of all these people, and I'm looking at, oh no, people, I got to do. I got this. So residency 1, I had that thought, just like you mentioned. Mm-hmm. And then also by the time I got to residency 1, and it's one of the weirdest things, everything was coming at me all at one time. The introductory part of the program, the kind of not noticing or realizing, how much work it was going to take, and all, the years and everything it was going to take for me to complete this program. So, but in short, residency 1.
And just got to explain to the people what a residency is, just so kind of people understand that part of it.
With University of Phoenix, and I really preach that. To me, I don't know what experience Dr. Van had, but all 3 of my residency, I felt it was first class. to me
Okay.
each time. Yeah,
Okay. Nice.
yeah. From my perspective, and I never would forget this. When I went to my first residency, the residency coordinator, and this is so funny. She met me when I came to the campus,
Mhm.
and when she called me Dr. Edwards when I worked, I'm like, yeah, you got that right. Yeah, yeah. I like that. I didn't tell her that, but I'm thinking that. I smile. Of course I didn't tell her that, but I'm thinking, yeah, I like that. You got that right.
That's
So,
right.
and then we had residency 2, and then we had residency 3. I went to Phoenix, Arizona for my second residency, which was the most intense residency.
Okay.
Residency 2 included building the foundation for your dissertation. After
Okay.
you finally get your topic together, and the foundation needs to be built. Your problems, your problem statements, so forth and so forth. And University of Phoenix residency, they taught us, and I love it, the in-person residency, how to present yourself as
Mhm.
doctors in
Nice.
front of people. You have to have that professional
Yep.
demeanor, being able to, to stand in front of people. So I appreciate that. And I will always and forever remember my facilitator. And I tell him this now when I see him on social media, Dr. Sean Todd Boone. He was my facilitator in residency 2. He's one of the kindest people that you will ever meet, but
Wow.
very firm. He very firm. And I came out of his class with an A minus B plus, excuse me. And I was like, oh boy, I did great to come out of his class. He is a wonderful person, and you're gonna learn something. When
Yeah.
you walk out of Dr. Sean Boone's class, you're gonna learn something. So I appreciate that. Residency 3, they prepare you, for your basically to present what do you call it when you defend? When you defend yourself, how to do IRB board, URM, and IRB board. They help you to put all that together. So,
Okay.
story short on that is I appreciate having the in-person residency. You had that one-on-one. That
Nice.
you had that one. The facilitator was there. Now we have some wonderful facilitators now that's been doing the online. We got some wonderful instructors, and they did what they had to do. And I believe that was because of post-COVID. We went through the
Okay.
COVID phase.
Yeah.
A lot of things change, and they have to go that route, which is understandable. But I will forever appreciate University of Phoenix doing the in-person residency.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
And Dr. Richards, yours was probably a bit different when you did yours.
It was a bit different. My first 2, which were not at Phoenix, were in person though as well with another university. So I had the experience of just having to understand the process.
Yeah.
And I think that it made a mistake amongst your cohort, which was like really like oh crap, this is real. So
That's real.
Forced you to take a step back and understand, like, what's the topic you're looking to drive toward, and why is that important? Because I think that when we typically start into the doctoral program, we're like throwing darts against the wall, like, oh, this is one, this is another, this is like, and
that's real.
And I had 2 instances where my chair was like, "Man, take a step back. Hey, think about, are you going to be able to get respondents to that, and what's the impact it's going to make on the organization that you're trying to influence or make a decision or help provide some future changes." That was one of the things. And then it also was a challenge of like, was quantitative or qualitative.
Yeah.
That was also a mind shift that I was forced to do. But when I transferred to Phoenix, great job to University of Phoenix, because they accepted a lot of my other credit hours from the other university, which was a complete plug. I was excited. And I didn't have to go back through a few, some of the courses I already went through. I went through all of my research methods, and I went through all of that stuff. They basically took me as face value, and I proved it within my earlier courses at Phoenix.
Very nice. Very nice.
And sort of piggybacking off of Dr. Edwards, the panel validator, Marcia Hill, my chair, Frank Bernard and Dr. McCaslin, they basically gut checked the crap out of me to make sure that I knew what the heck I was doing.
Yeah.
And I humbly admit and remember when I was prepping for my oral defense, one of them asked me, said, "Why are you trying to get it done so fast?" I'm like, I want this done.
That's right. Wow.
I'm tired of waking up at 4:00 in the morning and trying to figure this point out and get it done.
Yeah.
It was of most importance for me, and I wanted to put that back as my priority.
Indeed.
So getting to that journey, through that journey was admirable, and I feel that the experiences, even with my old chair at Phoenix, Dr. Michelle, she put the seed in my brain, like, you're gonna get there.
Nice. Nice.
So
yeah. You gotta have those people that have your back. And talk about even, being a family man. What was that like? Because I think some people think I can't do this because I got a whole family around. Like, what is that like going through the doctor process?
It is definitely so one of the things that I learned at the other university and even at Phoenix is that one thing that the schools tell us is you got to have that representation and support from your family. You're gonna have fisticuff. it's gonna be painful.
Easier said than done, that's for sure.
It's gonna be painful, and so it's really learning how to do it. And the way I adapted to doing it was torturing myself with getting up early in the morning to do it before folks woke up, and just painting myself to get it done.
Yeah.
Because I got kids, and you have to really realize, how do you change your mindset to just adapt? I got a full-time job and I'm in IT, so my job doesn't really stop at 9 to 5. It can go to 10.
Yeah.
So being able to be mindful of that, and also having a supportive family, is key in this episode, because it's not just an impact on yourself, but it is also impact on others, that not only your family, but others that you interact with as family and friends, because your life changes.
Yeah. And Dr. Edwards, you were a caregiver yourself. How was the family piece to you? Because people just don't get that, how difficult it can be. And oh, by the way, I still got to read all these books and write all these papers.
But see, far as me, I guess I can say that I'm a little lucky. I don't have, and I really admire women, and single women and men that have family that were able to take on all this responsibility while going on such a journey.
Yeah.
Far as me, I guess I could say I'm one of the lucky ones. I didn't have any kids, that spouse and all this other stuff. To be so. I'm grateful for that, but still, even with being a single woman and no kids or other responsibility, there are still things you have to train your, what do you call it, time management.
That's correct.
Even with that, I have a full-time job. Of course, I've been working full-time, so scheduled full-time, and also I was an adjunct professor too, as well as myself. So putting all this in, it's all about time management. It's basically what it's about. I totally admire those, as I just stated, men and women who have families and they're taking time out to go on this journey. I can imagine the task, that they have to do, things that they have to go through. So
yeah, and you hear about so many people that they couldn't go certain places or couldn't do certain things, because hey, I got to get that right in. Or you had individuals, it was Thanksgiving, but I had my plate in my computer right there. So like
Dr. Turner, I would say this, even though being a single woman, I would say this still, and I was going to mention this later on, you still cannot go on this journey. Story short, that there are going to be times you're going to miss out on a lot of things.
That's
Single, married, or whatever.
Yeah.
You cannot hang with the girls. Go out and gossip, but you can't do that. And there are going to be some events that you want to join family members. You know, that you're going to miss out on that because guess what? You're busy writing, and you trying to make sure you stay on track with your program. But go back to time management. You have to make time for those things though on this journey. You must. You have to.
Yeah, the self-care part is huge. And Dr. Van, kind of your thoughts on, is there such thing as balance? Is that even a thing?
It's a tough one. I do think that the reality is, and I'll do work and family. You know, as an IT leader for my organization, the reason I chose to do my work early in the morning because I can get that part done, then I can focus on my job throughout the day. As a professional, I think that this is what we got to do, and this shows the efforts of just being the greatest on both sides.
Yeah.
And then the other side of it, when you think about the family side of the house, it's really being humble enough to know when you may have let some things not meet the expectations of your family as well. So. And then the mindset shift of having a doctoral degree also provides other implications also, because now, sad to say, sometimes not sad to say, but we think different.
Usually.
So so now we're like, okay, what about this? What about that? And then how do you do this? And so to Dr. Everett's point, it's like time management, mental shift. And then the analytical side of your brain that just like, oh crap. So there's a lot of things to just really start to adjust as you go through these processes, because it's not something that's just as easy as many may think.
Yeah. And I mean, it's that church humbled. You don't even say the H, you just humbled. You have to be that, because you're going to learn so much so fast and have to be able to process it and put it out so quickly. And Dr. Edwards, now as you're in that program, you got through your residencies and you're starting to put the pieces together for your dissertation. What was your research on? And what was that struggle like, finally putting all that you had learned together into one huge, big paper?
My research, when I first got into the program, I already knew basically what I wanted my research to be on. I have always been fascinated about what goes on in the emergency department.
Okay.
I've always been fascinated by it. So doing residency one, my topic actually changed a few times, but what they did, my dissertation committee, they just switched it up. It didn't basically change to word it where it would be in alignment, with what how I want to present it. My dissertation was on alleviating overcrowding in emergency department. Is what Okay. So it started out with that, and then they switched it up to make sure it was in alignment to, they switched it up to alignment with that topic to make sure that when I presented doing my oral presentation, that it would be acceptable for the URM board and IRB. But I've always been fascinated what goes on there, because I've seen so much stuff go on within the emergency department. People are being, not seen in emergency department. And so when I decided on this topic, I had made up my mind that this was going to be with me for a while. So I had to make sure, and I would tell anyone that's on this journey, when you choose a topic for your dissertation, it's going to be with you for a while. You're going to think about it. You're going to sleep with it on your mind. So it's going to be, so just get used to it and, and prepare yourself, for a long journey.
Love that. And Dr. Richardson, kind of going into your journey and I was kind of the same as Dr. Edwards as well. Like I knew what I wanted to do from the beginning, and it crafted a little bit. But how big is it to at least have some kind of idea going in, or did you have an idea at all, or did it just kind of pop in your head during the journey?
So mine started on the analytical side of thinking. Like I've been in the infrastructure space for years.
Okay.
I was thinking like about how to go into providing the value of IT and how to present it back to the organization.
Nice.
Yeah, that didn't go too far because just because I was trying to prove that point. I was trying to solve the big pie.
I got you.
And now I can break it down a little bit in sizable chunks.
Yeah.
But you can't solve the world's problems all at once.
Yeah, you'll learn too, folks. You'll learn that too.
So that's what my mentors were like, Van, take a step back, get your emotions out of it, and be focused on what you're doing. So what I ended up adjusting my dissertation topic to was really looking at African American men in senior leadership roles, because I've been in leadership roles over the last 15 years or so.
Yeah.
And then, and looking at the barriers to get to leadership roles.
That's good.
And I actually pivoted off of African American women, because there's a ton of research on African American women and their barriers there to get there. There was very little on African American men. So when I shifted it, it allowed me to use a personal experience to expand on what that would be, and how my study was written. It allowed me to talk to people that were from the Midwest or other areas and get their lived experience and the phenomenological experiences, and just understand what their pieces, how they felt, were the organization challenges, or whether there were cultural things, or whether it's just perceptions that were in place that prevented some certain levels of levity to higher levels of roles within the organizations. So those are my two. That was one shift to that one. But what I realized when I owned that shift, because it was something that was passionate to me, I was able to knock it out because it was something that was important.
Yeah, absolutely love it. Folks, we're rolling here on the Doc Chat. We got Dr. Edwards and Dr. Richardson. We got our good friend here, Dr. Woody. Check it in. We appreciate you. Appreciate all the love. And we got love showing here to the great Dr. Van. We appreciate you, Greg, for checking in as well. We appreciate everybody for checking out the Doc Chat. Show these great folks some love, these great docs here. I'm telling you, we are already halfway through the show, and we are still rolling strong, and I absolutely love it. And Dr. Edwards, so now you're getting to the defense. What was that like? And I mean, what words could you tell somebody right now about what that time between proposal to defense is, and what was it finally defending your dissertation?
Speaking for me, my proposal was accepted the first time around.
Nice.
And I gave it because the first time around. Fortunately, though, in order for that to happen, I had to change dissertation chairs. I had to change dissertation chair. I immediately, and I think I mentioned this to you before, Dr. Turner, I immediately, when I started my program and I was assigned a chair, knew that the chair that was assigned to me, we wasn't a good fit. We wasn't a good fit. So I took it upon myself. Talk to leadership, and I would tell anybody that when you have this type of, you talk to leadership of your various university. Yeah. So story short on that, I talked to leadership, and they allowed me to switch chairs immediately, and I ended up with a wonderful chair, Dr. Barbara Giardino, and she was with me for the entire rest of my program. Wow, and she got me through. She was with me for about 5 years of my program. Nice. She was with me, and she took her time. baby steps is what she did. She took baby, yeah, and I appreciate that. Sometimes it's going to take baby steps, and I think let me kind of go back just a little. I think that's what's wrong with a lot of doctorate candidates now. They want to get into the program, and they want everything to go from A to Z right away, and it's not going to happen.
No,
It's not going to happen.
Definitely a
I
marathon, not a
yes,
sprint.
yes, sir.
Definitely.
Yeah, and that's why I appreciate Dr. Barbara Giordino. She took baby steps with me to get me to that
Good.
point. She set aside Fridays during my whole program to make sure that was my time. She
Wow.
took that was my time that she would let me know what needed to be done for for me to move forward. I remember one time I had gotten off work late and had my laptop with me, sitting in the restaurant eating. We did a Zoom call while I was
Do what you had to do.
she did this with me, so I will forever appreciate her. Moving fast forward to defending, which was June 15th, 2021. It's a day I will never forget. Never forget.
Yeah.
Dr. Chantal Boone, who was actually my facilitator, as I've mentioned, in residency 2, he was my URM. And I also had what they call the validating Dr. Barbara Giordina. On June 15th, I was so nervous. I was so nervous.
Yeah.
But when it finally happened and I presented everything to them, it went so smooth.
Beautiful.
It went so smooth. And I never forget, after everything was over, I'm sitting at my computer like this, and they told, well, Dr. Edwards, you are confirmed. And I'm just sitting like, and okay, and then when it was over with, I literally, and I think I mentioned this to you also, Dr. John, I literally sat at my computer desk for about an hour.
I've heard that.
In disbelief, did I just finish this? Did this really happen? So after I finally unfrozen from my computer desk, after it was over with, I'm like, yeah, you did this by the grace of God. Yeah, I'm going there for a minute.
That's right.
By the grace of God, you did this, and I am not ashamed to say that if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't have been able to complete this program. I would be the first one to admit it.
Amen to that. And Dr. Richardson, what was it like? You finally got through that proposal, and now you're putting the pieces together towards that defense. And what was that defense day like for you?
One of the things I used as a helpful base was to talk to others that went through the process.
Mm-hmm.
I got a bunch of frat brothers and sorors that are and high school friends that have gone through the doctoral process, and just overall friends. And I'm like, well, hey, give me the gut of what the experience would be.
Yeah.
And one of the things that even with my chair, URM and panel validator, that said, this is your information, own it. You wrote it.
That's right.
And you own it better than anybody else can defend it.
That's it. Yeah.
And I think the key piece, and again, sometimes we struggle with owning the position of where we are at some point. So it's like, so having heard that from every one of them that have gone through the process, it was like, all right, so I think if I recall that morning when I got the approval to schedule my oral defense, what I did was just basically take a 5-minute walk around the house, just to sort of just pace myself and just digest where my element was,
mm-hmm.
and recognize the importance of the study and what the impact was going to be. What I also did, though, was as a part of the Phoenix program, they actually tell you what to expect. They gave you a template, and it so I. They don't require you to use the template per se, so you can pivot on your own. But one of the things I felt important was really to just make it me. Don't force yourself into this box, because honestly, your defense is, because of the template that they give you for the defense, it wasn't one that had to be held to.
Yeah.
So when you own it, you feel much more comfortable, much more paced. and then you're not so much under pressure. And then the other thing that what I felt helpful was turning the conversation, making the conversation conversational.
Yeah, that's big.
Versus me throwing it against the wall, preaching to you about this is what I did, and making sure that this fits every scenario.
Yeah.
This is my study. These are my results. This is what came from my participants.
That's right. That's right.
And once you have that level of confidence in your study, it makes the drive to completion or getting to the finish line easier.
That's huge.
And that's what I learned. And when I got the results, when I was approved, I did have to go back and make some edits in my writing. Came from my validator and others. But guess what? I got that back out in two or 3 days, and it was done.
Oh yeah, you was ready to be done after that. Like, oh, y'all can have these edits. Y'all can have.
So you get that approved, and you get that. Go back, but go back and make these couple changes. I'm out.
It's amazing, and I'm telling you, folks, just the love that these two individuals, you could tell, had for their work and what they did. That's what gets you through. That passion is what gets you through, because as Dr. Everett said, you're going to be doing this for a long time, a long, long time. And you got to have that to hold on to, those moments you just want to throw the towel and give up. You got this. Trust it. Trust us. You got this. And as we're rolling on, we appreciate everybody for checking in here on the Doc Chat. We're having a good time talking to these great doctors. And so now, one of the best parts of the show, we got to know what it was to get here. Dr. Edwards, what was it to finally put on the graduation doctor robe, the TAM, all of the regalia? What was it like to finally get to the doctor finish line for you?
Seriously, I was still when I thought, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, when I finally got to the finish line, it took me a while for it to really sink in. It did. And let me tell you, imposter syndrome is real. It is. It's real. You're going to feel a time when you get to the finish line. Oh, okay. I finished the program. So what now? You know, but this is why I even tell those that I mentor at time, even when on any program, not just if I can go here for a minute, on any program, not just your doctor program, it's not over once you get those credentials. It's not over.
That's good.
It goes back to having a passion. You must stay motivated. You must stay in tune what's going on in your prospective industry. Those that I mentor now would tell you, I'm constantly telling them something that goes on in the healthcare industry. I keep up with everything that goes on. And by me working strongly in that environment now, anything that I digest, even on my job, I try to share. It's so much stuff going on in the healthcare industry now, and I keep that industry, keep that interest, and I try to let those that I mentor, stay motivated. It's not over when you get the credentials. Make sure when you choose, not only for healthcare administration, if you decide to go for ED program, make sure that's going to be your passion, and that you're going to stick with it. You're going to keep in tune what's going on in your prospective or organization or industry.
Mm-hmm. That's right, because you're always going to be researching, especially when you become a doctor. The research probably going to turn up a little bit more because if you go carry around that doctor credential for real, folks going to want to know that what you're talking about is for real. So I love that. Absolutely love that. Appreciate that so very much. Mm-hmm. And I'd be remiss if I didn't let the man of Phi Beta Sigma get a little screen time, a little love here. What was it for you, Dr. Van, to finally get hooded and get to that doctor finish line?
Here we go. I was about to run back and give my TAM for a second. It's on the other side of the wall. It was was a humbling experience, actually. It I didn't even know how to even think about what that was going to look like or feel like.
Yeah.
Um,
And who are the two gentlemen in the picture there?
Yes. So those are the prof of the doctoral committee. I forget the other brothers, but those are two administrative individuals on the team.
Gotcha.
But I will say just being able to be at that point, and I remember walking up the aisle or having to sit in the first row, because Phoenix makes you wait to the end of makes the doctors wait to the end of the ceremony so we can support everybody else through the process. And I remember just walking up the aisle and then being able to just like the pressure, the sweat started to like, oh crap, this is actually really happening.
Yeah.
And then the experience was like, this is actually real. It's like that the blood, sweat, and tears was truly worth it. And then and the part that I walked away with after this here was what's the legacy that you leave. And because to Dr. Edwards' point was, now people are asking you questions like, oh, you know something different. You do things different now. You're a doctor now, so what are you gonna do? So that level is 1,000 times higher for you, and expectations are 1,000 times higher for you. So this is that level. So when we thought we got rid of some weight, guess what? it comes back a little bit on you because of that. Right. But it's a great feeling.
We love that. Yeah, when you get hooded, that hood come with a little weight to it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
I had to I bought a new garment bag and put it on the other side. It's in my closet. You don't want to mess that up.
That's right. We appreciate these great doctors so much. Dr. Edwards, Dr. Richardson, great doctors, University of Phoenix. And Dr. Edwards, we want to get into the part to where you can bless the next doctors coming through, the individuals who are interested in a university like the University of Phoenix. Mm-hmm. What would you tell them, people that are interested in going for a doctor? What are 2 or 3 things it's like, oh, they're going to need to know this, or I wish somebody would have told me this even when I started?
Anybody that is even considering taking this journey, a doctor journey, as Dr. Van mentioned earlier, there's a mentality, so to speak. You have to prepare yourself mentally for this journey. There are certain things, as we mentioned earlier in the conversation, you can no longer do. You're not going to be able to. You're going to have a life, but then you're not going to have a life. I'm just going to be real with you.
That is real. That is absolutely real.
You're going to have a life. And then this is one of the main things that I'm seeing now, even from a few that I mentor. As doctor candidates, you have to take on some responsibility of what you need to do to move forward on your journey.
Good.
And I mentioned something like this today. You cannot play the blame game about why you are not moving forward on your journey.
That's good.
You have, as a doctor, there's a certain doctor demeanor. You must learn that. That's one of the process of getting the doctor degree. You have to develop a doctor demeanor. How you carry yourself. How you carry yourself. The things that you do. And so on and so on. I'm not saying you're not supposed to be the individual that you're accustomed to be. I tell people all the time, I'm Diana Edwards first.
Correct.
Always. Then as Dr. Diana Edwards, there's a certain demeanor that I carry. And I don't want, to embarrass myself because of being this professional in the healthcare industry, or even there's a certain way as being representative University of Phoenix. You know, we are carrying University of Phoenix name. So I just look at it from that perspective. Your doctor demeanor, and you must, as I mentioned, Take that responsibility on. Do what you need to do. If you need to reach out to your dissertation team to get help, if you have those that are mentoring you, you need to let them know you need help. Don't keep putting that in your mind. It's their fault. It's your fault. Whatever. No, take on some responsibility.
Huge, huge. And you have to realize what you're getting and what it means, not just for even yourself, but for the others that see you as doctor now. It's a huge thing. It's definitely a huge thing. And Dr. Van, what would you tell somebody interested in either University of Phoenix or just going for their doctorate degree, period? Even something that maybe, man, I wish somebody would have told me that. What would you tell the next generation of doctors?
That the road is not easy, first of all.
That's right.
So don't sign up for it just thinking you're going to go to class and just think that you're just going to become doctor.
Yeah.
It just not. We can do it from associates to masters, and but one of the lessons I learned in one of my early doctoral courses is they don't care what you think. It's what can.
It's flat out true. That is true. Yeah.
That I remember one of my early writings. They would my chair was like, nope, I don't care what you think. So go back and look what you can prove and cite.
It's true.
And they told me, once you become a doctor, then we'll listen to you. And I was like, crap. That was like, it's a mindset shift, and one of the important pieces is being invested in the process.
Yeah.
Because that's where you can carry on the bigger impact to not only the growth of why you're doing it, the growth in yourself, but why your topic is important, and how you can help influence, whether it's business or whether it's healthcare, whether it's education, or whether it's philosophy. So be very intentful in why you do it. And this is the reason why there are not a lot of doctors here, because of that. And there's some that are in tech, because I think obviously I'm in tech, but if you think about it, some people are creating AI fields. So be intentful for your intention on what you're producing, your product.
Yeah.
That's where you find value, and that's going to drive you to completion.
Indeed. Yeah, it's something I was told. Coursework is easy. Dissertation is hard. Because it's a lot of 4.0 ABDs out there. And that 50% is real. Only half of the people get real. So, Dr. Edwards, as you're thinking about, what would you tell somebody if they are at that ABD stage? Like, what would you tell them they need to get finished?
What comes to mind with the as you mentioned that, and I'm hoping I'm on the same page with you. I'm almost sure that I am. On this type of journey, we have to use that term that I've been hearing a lot now, especially when you're around a lot of negative people that that try to discourage you from walking the journey or do it. I don't care which university you're attending, University of Phoenix or what other university. You got some people that's going to make you feel intimidated. Oh, you don't need that doctorate degree. Why are you getting it? And so on and so on. So story short, the term that comes to mind is, but what they've been saying a lot now, let them be. I've been hearing that a lot now. Let them be. Let them talk all the negative.
Yeah. Let
them say, oh, you're not going to complete this part. I heard that many times.
Wow.
Let them be.
Wow.
You have to block these people out of your mind. It's going to be a lonely road. You have to be careful about those you allow in your personal space. That's the first thing on this journey. Everybody does not need to be in your personal space on this journey. You're going to have toxic individual. Yes, I'm going there. Yes. That's going to try to provoke you not to finish because they're not happy with their life. Let them be.
Yes, that's it. I say all the time, especially when I'm mentoring a lot of doctoral students, not everybody can go to glory with you or go to the mountaintop with you. A lot of people that started with you, they probably won't finish with you.
That's it. That's it.
And Dr. Van, kind of what would you tell that ABD, that all but dissertation, they're kind of knocking on the door, but they don't know if they can do it? What would you tell them?
It's going to go back to one of my original statements of understanding why you wanted to do it, and then and then it's going to, once we have the doctorate, we sort of go back, our brain, you start to switch your brain. So you say, why didn't you do it? And start looking at the obstacles of like, what was it, life, family, or job, what other challenges came in place, and then start to understand that. But I would always encourage to not give up, because I think that if you had the inkling of doing it, your initial thought of persevering more was likely still there. Now, to Dr. Edwards' point, life happens. You might have some naysayers that will say, no, we'll throw roadblocks at you 1,000 tons.
Yeah.
And sometimes, unfortunately, it will be unpopular, but you got to move some of those roadblocks out of the way to move forward.
Yeah.
So.
And Dr. Edwards, kind of the final point before we wrap up here, tell the people why they should go for their doctorate degree. Tell somebody today an encouraging, inspiring word of why they should do it.
So I would say this is kind of, and not trying to go back on my previous comments, but I have to say this again. You have to know why you're taking this journey. Yeah. You have to, I would say that you let whatever your reason why you decide to take the journey be your motivation. A doctor degree is not for the weak. You have to prepare yourself mentally. And the reason it's a good thing to get a doctorate degree, if you choose to go that route, if you go the doctorate route, that means you want to continue as a professional in your prospective industry. To get a doctorate degree means you're a teacher. That's what the word doctor means, to teach. You are to lead by example. You are to encourage those that wants to perhaps go the route that you're going. The main thing is you have to know why you're taking the journey. If you have no clue why you're taking this journey, you need to rethink it. Find out why.
I love that. That's Dr. Diana Edwards. And your why just can't be because you want people to call you doctor. That ain't gonna work, folks. You need something stronger than that. You need something way stronger than that. And Dr. Richardson, what would you tell that person? How would you encourage them, inspire them to go for that doctorate degree?
So I'm going to go backwards a little bit from what Dr. Edwards mentioned. Knowing that why, I think it's going to be the most strongest point there. And I can definitely still say, even having gotten mine last year, sometimes I don't even call myself that, and I get yelled at from family and friends like, dude, you did it, you earned it.
You're the doctor.
Right. So I still struggle with that a bit too. So, the key piece here is, if you think about it, position yourself, your family, your career, and then whatever else you want to do that impacts your community and driving change. I like the driving change element to be as a key piece here. Yeah. Because to Dr. Edwards' point, teaching is key, because changing by growth in scholarship is important, because once you know more, whether it's via honestly getting it as research, you will do different things.
That's right.
And you hold yourself to a higher example, and people hold you to a higher example. So it's all the level of being better citizens and better to others that we are engaged with, and then helping to promote others, because there's nowhere else for us to go, but it's promoting others.
That's it. That's it. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to know only 2% of the entire world even has anything that is considered a doctorate degree. And we had two of the best ones that were on tonight here, Dr. Diane Edwards, Dr. Van Richardson. Dr. Edwards, where can folks find you at, connect with you? And we appreciate you for being on the Doc Chat.
Dr. Edwards?
Yeah, let folks know where they can find you at, social media wise, email. Where can folks find you and connect with you, Dr. Edwards?
They can reach me. I'm typically on Facebook, and you can just pull me up by Diane Edwards, and you can find me also on University of Phoenix doc page. That means I'm going to put here you go, Dr. Turner. Hold on. They can also bear with me one moment.
It's all right. It's all right. Yeah. And of course, I connect with these great folks on LinkedIn, so you can find them for sure on LinkedIn. And Dr. Edwards is going to drop her information in the chat. Make sure folks get that.
There you go, Dr. Turner.
All right. We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
And Dr. Turner, can I add something else real quick to be of something encouraging?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's University of Phoenix, whether it's another higher learning institution, and you're on a doctor journey, stay teachable. You have to stay teachable. I've dealt with some that I've mentored, not only the doc program, but undergrad. You cannot, let me back up a little bit. I know you run out of time, Dr. Turner.
Oh, you're all good.
You cannot go into these facilitators' classes telling them how you want them to run your class, or what kind of grade you want them to give you.
Yeah.
Even if you're on a doc program, okay, you made it to the doctor program. That does not mean you know it all. These facilitators are facilitators for a reason. They're there for a reason, and that needs to be respected. And also, then I think I'm finished. I want to say, since we're talking about my alumni, University of Phoenix, I appreciate this higher learning institution. I really did, and I have no doubt in my mind, I chose the right school to pursue my education. I appreciate all the facilitators. I appreciate the hard times and the good times on this journey. It was worth it.
We love that. We love that. That is Dr. Diane Edwards. You can find her at Doc Diana Edwards at currently.com. And hey, connect with her, like I said, on LinkedIn. I appreciate her and all the connections. And of course, that Facebook group. Oh my goodness, please make sure y'all connect with the University of Phoenix alumni group, because they are doing great things and they're staying connected, which is a huge part of getting your doctorate degree. Stay connected with your university and your alumni. That's a huge piece.
Yep. And additionally, I am also in the same group, and me and Dr. Edwards are working together on some things too. So we're also going to kick off another podcast that are pushing more doctoral conversations to make sure that we're expanding the reach and touch. I can be found at vandrichandson.com. You can do a search and you can find me on that platform as well. That's on social as well as my personal website. But the goal here is really to keep a good group working together, talking together, and inspiring each other.
Love that. I love that. These are amazing doctors from the University of Phoenix, Dr. Van Richardson, Dr. Diana Edwards. I appreciate y'all so much. Man, you see how fast an hour goes by, folks, when you're having fun. And I just had a blast with these doctors. I appreciate y'all. Anything y'all need, let me know. To all the commenters, to all the viewers, we appreciate y'all so much. And until the next time on the Doc Chat, we all stay.
And then you get this book.
That's right. The Bounded Dissertation. You gonna get one, folks, because they did it. You could do it. So we appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night. Take care.